So I looked out my window and it appeared that my bees were swarming, um, but they are all coming back, and the virgin queen is actually down in this cluster. She's a black virgin queen. If I see her, I can zoom back in on her. But this was an experiment to see if I put, there she is, if I put a swarm cell in here, if they would build more emergency cells, and then would that original swarm cell queen tear down the emergency cells, or will it just cast several swarms after the emergency cells open and they already have a swarm cell queen. So it seems that they are still trying to swarm, so that answered that question. Why she didn't make it very far and it's just clustering here, I'm not quite sure. And I also don't know how many queens are in this box. So I have to figure all that out. So this is the colony that was swarming with a virgin. And once again, there was a swarm cell in here, but also young brood. And so this is what happened. You can see that they made emergency cells despite having the swarm cell in here. And so the swarm queen emerged a week before these emergency queens emerged, and so now it's causing chaos. And the original swarm queen, who I caught and put in this cage, I think it's the one leaving, while these emergency queens are emerging. So what I think I'm going to do is knock down the remaining emergency ones and put this virgin back in here and just let them figure it out, let them fight it out. But you can't make swarms, or I'm sorry, you can't make splits with swarm cells if the brood on the frame is still young enough that they can make emergency cells as well, because this is what you run into. So this was a science experiment. I talked to Corey Stevens about this, and he also agreed that this would happen, and so this was just confirmation of that. So sometimes seeing is believing, so just be careful if you're making splits with swarm cells. Make sure that they don't have any young larvae, or you'll end up in this situation potentially. So I just ripped open a queen cell and there was an active queen, and so this is her. I think I'm gonna smash her just because she's an emergency queen from a nuke, so the quality is probably not that great. But this is that virgin that was about to emerge and what triggered them to swarm with the virgin. And so now she's making her way through. I'm gonna add the other one that I gave them with the swarm queen, but she doesn't look bad. I just don't like the idea of the nuke building this queen.